Hello, welcome back to Who Be an Actor. My name is Makharima Sulu and I am an actor. And as promised in our second video of 2023, a year that is remarkable in that I have been able to say 2023 since it was 2023. Like normally it takes me up until like February to be able to write and say it's 2020 whatever or 2000 and whatever, but this year, from day one, I was writing it. It's amazing. Just an interesting fact. Something to note. As promised, as I was saying, as promised last week, we're going to look at injury at work and how you deal with it, or like how I'm dealing with it, which is much more present as an offer to you, potentially, so that if you are ever injured in work or you're dealing with having to be away from your work, you have maybe watched this or are watching this and you know you're not alone, you know it happens. Like famously, the most famous person I can think of right now had to leave a theatre job in England, Sheridan Smith. She had to step away, and that was huge for the audience, but this is what it's like for the actor. So you'll have to forgive like the sort of introspective aspects of this, because I was just speaking with someone therapy-wise about it today. So there might be some sort of like cerebral stuff going on and stuff, because I am a cerebral person as well. So what happened was I was in a job at the Bristol Old Vic, which is a wonderful place to work, and I encourage everyone, if you can work there, go for it. And I was working with Travelling Light Theatre Company, again a wonderful theatre company. The people are wonderful, wonderful people, and they recently lost like a large chunk of their funding from like the government side of things. So if you can donate to them, please go and do that. If you can buy merch from them, anything to help them keep going, they are amazing. Or if you know a huge benefactors, you know, send them their way. This is not, by the way, in any way sponsored or encouraged by them. I'm just saying it because I've worked with them and I really hope they keep going, just as we hope many other theatre companies keep going. So we created a work based on the book Belle and Sebastian, which is a lovely French novel adapted into English. We adapted that into a script, and it was a very wonderful play, very physical, very in the body, in the mind, and the spirit. It was great. It's my very first Christmas show. It was a lot of firsts. It was my first theatre show since I worked with the RSC, so that was like over a year since I've been in the theatre. So it was amazing, terrifying, absolutely, because in that moment I'm like, am I still an actor? Can I still act? Am I, like, have I lost it? What is it? If I've lost it, what is it? Where can I find it? You know, all those questions are going on in my head, and then we start working and everything goes away because it stops being about me and it starts being about us as a collective and about the work we're creating. And I'm so busy receiving and offering and creating that all of that genuinely does go away. As long as you trust the process and trust the work and are present for the other in this space, all those self-doubt questions go away. And then I got the cold that's been going around. I got it working, and then that cold turned into a full-on chest infection. And the chest infection was so bad I couldn't breathe, they couldn't do anything, so we had to cancel some shows, and I felt horrible about that, because we get sort of this feeling of responsibility, which is natural and should be happening. You feel responsible to make sure that things keep going. Sorry, I'm just going to check the lighting, make sure everything is good. Yeah, you can see me. So you feel responsible to make sure like the show goes on, because you've heard the expression, the show must go on. This is about accepting that really, no. If you're hurt, if your family's hurt, if for any reason you cannot be there, the show can go on without you, which is, we're going to hold that, we're going to put it to the side. But for you, the show mustn't go on. Sorry, sirens. I live in a city. So, we had to cancel a few shows then. Like, I think a couple of shows, 3 shows. And then it was just like, okay, what's going to happen? And went back to work, started feeling this pain in my back. And it was like, okay, guys, my back hurts. And at the back of my mind is this, this voice saying, oh, you're complaining too much. You are not. You don't. You are telling people what's going on, especially stage management. They need to know what's going on with you so that they know if you're capable of the job, or they can preempt any issues. And I was doing that, but because I had the cold and I had to take some time off because of the chest infection, I felt like I was imposing. I wasn't. I was doing my job. I was keeping the team informed of what was going on with me so that they could do their jobs, so that we could all do our job, which is to give a brilliant show to the audience. And then it's like, so I'm doing yoga. I'm doing everything I know to do. I'm resting. I'm putting ice on the area. I'm putting heat on the area alternatively. Everything I knew to help the muscles relax, and it's just not working. Then it gets to like the 22nd, 23rd of December, and I can't get out of bed. I physically can't get out of bed because my back has seized and my hips are locked. Like my legs, you know how your legs move independently of each other? My girdle wouldn't move. I was just like, this is the worst pain I've ever been in. Barring other pain, which is none of your business. So then I got up, did some yoga, did my usual warm-up for a show, which we have in other videos, so please go check out how to do a physical warm-up and a vocal warm-up before a show, just to build your own routine. And that made it a little bit better, but not completely. Like my voice was there, but then because my body wasn't what it was supposed to be, my voice was starting to feel constricted and I was starting to get scared. So I go into work, we do one show, and then, oh yeah, we're doing 2 shows a day, which is the usual Christmas schedule, 2 shows a day, 6 days a week. 5 to 6 days a week. And I get off stage and I'm like, something's really wrong. I need to go make an emergency appointment with the osteopath. So I do. They went and they saw me. And brilliantly, because the show is physical, the company, Traveling Light, had made a stipend available for us to go see an osteopath or a physiotherapist or go for a massage, because the show itself was very physical. So they wanted us to be safe in our bodies. So what happens when you're in a physical show is your body takes a pounding. When you're doing a show anyway, it's hard work. But when your show is physical on top of the usual hard work of a show, your body takes a huge toll. So you need to do certain things to make sure that your muscles are loose and they're constantly warm, and any tension that you build up is eased. So I was doing all of that, but because of the chest infection, what had happened was I was coughing so much that the muscles in my psoas, like my body, just kind of, they seized up. And every time I coughed, they were like moving like that away from each other, but not in a relaxed state. They weren't doing it the way they're supposed to do it. The tension wasn't easing from my body. Long story short, which this hasn't been a short story, but long story short, I ended up with a slip disc, like a bulged disc, and put pressure on the nerves. My body said stop. And I had to. Like, I couldn't By the time it was like the 24th, where we're going to do 2 shows, I couldn't do it. I was standing. I had to hitch my leg up and sort of angle my hip in order for me to be able to stand at all, because the pain was radiating so badly throughout my body. It was affecting my breathing, everything. So your body, your spine, your frame, if it's a certain way and something happens to make it not that way, you change. And you have to listen to that. You can't go on when you physically can't go on, or you emotionally can't go on, or you psychologically can't go on. So here comes the next bit. So the conversation about cancelling the shows had to happen. And that feels like you're betraying. That felt like I was betraying. It keeps offsetting. No, I'm going to be... It felt like I was betraying the audience by saying that I couldn't give you a show when we promised you, when I promised to be there. My word matters to me. And I promised to do it, and I couldn't do it, and I felt like I was failing, and I felt like I'd lied to the audience. None of that is true. None of that is true. But all these feelings were going through my body, and I kept trying to convince myself that I could physically do it when I knew for a fact I couldn't, and I was putting myself at risk. So, logically speaking, in a situation like that, I have to think about either continuing the show or continuing my career. And your career comes first. Like, if you can't do this job, you can gracefully exit it so that you have a career afterwards, rather than doing this one last job and then going to do something that you weren't born to do for the rest of your life, if at all. So it's just not. You have to be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself. And post this, I'm learning, like, to be kinder to myself about the process, because I was very hard on myself. It's very, very hard on myself. And then went home, had the physiotherapy. The osteopath herself, when she saw me, went pale and was anxious. There was a patient waiting for her, and he pushed back his appointment because he was so worried about me. And he's lovely. He wrote me an Instagram message just to check on me. He's a beautiful human being, and such a blessing to meet all these wonderful people who responded instantly to my pain when I was busy saying, do your job, just do your job. And no, your first job is to yourself. Your first job is to be kind to yourself so that you can be kind to others. Your first job is to be present for yourself so that you can be present for others. And there's nothing immature or selfish in that. That's very mature, and it's very giving of to yourself and of yourself. So, stepped away for a few more productions, and then we had to have the honest conversation, and the therapist said, I would step away from the job, and I feel uncomfortable signing you off to go back to work. You can go back to work, but I won't sign you off, because legally she'd be liable then if something happened to me. And just hearing that kind of spoke to the part of myself that's... So I was very sickly as a child, and some of my teachers, when I had to step out of school, got into the habit of saying I was faking it. I was doing it for attention, and I was doing it because I was lazy or trying to get out of doing exams, things like that. So that kind of set in my psyche. So whenever I do get sick or I can't do something, their voices or it kind of ring in my head, and I hear them saying I'm being dramatic. And I've developed a habit of seeking externally, like, okay, I'm not exaggerating, when what I should be doing and what I am learning to do is to actually respect my body and hear it and hear myself when I say this isn't right, and then go with that without needing external professional validation. Although you do need like the paperwork. So for like insurance purposes, you need the note, the physician's note, you need, you know, things like that, because that's the business end of things and that needs to be covered. But like personally, internally, when yourself is saying no, it's no. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete answer. No is a complete response when you are receiving it from someone and when you are receiving it from yourself. Listen. And they brought in another actor to do the part, and the show went on. So we're going to pick up that thing that we put aside and we put it here. The fact that the show does go on even without you. And inside will be this dialogue of, I've been so unprofessional, people are going to know about it. In my next job, someone's going to say, well, she's not going to stick around. Actually, that person's going to be seen by some amazing casting director and they're going to get an amazing job. When if I had been in that day, the casting director would have seen me and I would have gotten the job. You know, all these thoughts start coming into my head, and everything to do with, will I ever work again? Will I work at the level I want to work at? Will I work with who I want to work with? Will I ever do again? The answer to all of that is yes, by God's grace. You being respectful of yourself in this moment does not mean you're being detrimental to yourself in the future. What it actually means is that you get into the habit. I am getting into the habit and sinking much more smoothly into the habit of self-awareness and self-care, which is a phrase that some people are like sneer at, but what it actually means is that I care about myself enough to listen, to actually listen when something hurts, to listen when I'm tired, to listen when I'm uncomfortable in a situation, and to respond appropriately. So if I'm in a job and I can't leave, but I'm very uncomfortable with the people, I'll tell my agent, tell the stage management, and, you know, as professionally as possible. If I'm physically unwell and I can't continue, I'll let that be known as well, so that they can respond. Because here's the thing, they hired another actor to come in. Production houses, production companies, they will keep going. They think of career as well. They have a trajectory that they're thinking of as well, so they always make contingencies. You have to make contingencies for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You can't think of being an actor as this job. You have to think of it as your whole life. We are so blessed in this that we can work until we transcend this plane of existence and go into the next plane of existence. Like, there's no retirement age for an actor. So you determine when that moment that you are done is. There's seasons where you will not work, and there's seasons where you'll work abundantly. So yes, there is that, but that's not retirement. That's just the ebb and flow of the nature of our business. What determines whether or not you keep working, whether or not I keep working, is how we treat ourselves. And I believe that this applies outside of acting, whatever work you do, whatever it is you do with your life, whether you're a parent, whether you are in the medical profession, whether you are in the legal profession, whatever it is you do in life, you taking care of yourself determines how long you can do that and how well you can do it. And those thoughts of self-recrimination, you know, telling yourself off before other people do, or telling yourself off because you think other people feel they can't tell you off because you clearly look like you're in pain. And I'm going to have to sit down soon because I've been standing for too long. those things are not healthy, they're not kind, they're not for you. So you have to do for you. It's not a selfishness, it's a kindness. And if a stranger deserves kindness from you, you deserve kindness from you too. I hope this bit of honesty, which is the longest video I think I've done in this series, I hope it's helpful whenever you're watching it. I am getting better every day. I'm way advanced in my recovery because God made me listen to myself, and I am back working as an actor, doing a wonderful job at the moment, and looking forward to the next jobs that I will do. And I am home after being away for a long time and looking around at all that needs doing and sort of planning how I'm going to steadily do it. Life goes on. You go on. So you have to live your life with that awareness, with that kindness towards yourself. Be kind. Be loving. Be true. Listen, please. May God bless you. May He keep you. May He make His face to shine on you and be gracious to you. May He turn His countenance towards you and give you peace. I love you. See you next week.